During what was meant to be a routine cleansing ritual, this TikToker found himself documenting something way more intense than he had bargained for. The goal was simple: clear the energy from a reportedly haunted home. But whatever was inside had no interest in leaving quietly, and as the camera rolled, it made that very clear. Take a look.
Случилось, друзья. О, сука.
Perhaps this spirit is something of a chess master, but why would it be launching the pieces everywhere and knocking into the camera? The scariest thing the guy managed to catch on camera though wasn't actually the flying shrapnel. Maybe it wanted a game. The video could have easily been filmed and put in reverse, but that still doesn't explain what the weird black cloud was, nor does it explain how the pieces did that on their own, in reverse or not. And how did it get on top of the wardrobe? What kind of spook could this be? Some kind of djinn perhaps? Or even a demon? This family have their Ring doorbell acting up, random motion alerts, but no one ever there. They tweaked the sensitivity, set up trigger zones, even considered chucking the whole thing in the bin, but nope, the notifications kept rolling in. Eventually, they just brushed it off as a glitch and stopped paying attention to it. That is, until their son got curious. Like any kid with a new app, he started checking every single notification, because why not? But this time, the footage showed something no one could explain. Take a look. What the hell did we just witness? At first glance, it looks like someone or something is drawing on the windshield. But here's the kicker. No hand, no fingers, no visible movements, just a perfectly drawn curve appearing out of nowhere. I mean, if it's just the wind, wouldn't the whole thing be a mess? Instead, we're looking at something way too precise to be random. But what do you think? A technical glitch causing all the notifications? Somehow the wind managed to draw a perfect arc, or a mischievous spirit getting into the winter spirit? Maybe something playing games with the family car? No idea. But one thing's for sure, I'd be selling that Ring camera immediately. You probably already know that dogs are considered extra sensitive to the paranormal. There are so many videos online showing all sorts of dogs barking at nothing, growling at nothing, jumping at nothing, the list goes on. It's rare that you see any actual physical activity in dogs' videos, but this one knocked it out the park.
तो इस सीसीटीवी फुटेज में एक डॉग के साथ पैरानॉर्मल एक्टिविटी होता है, आप इस वीडियो में देख सकते हो।
The bed being yanked isn't even the scary part. Did you hear that horrific moan? You might be thinking of some kind of logical explanation like an earthquake or some kind of impact that caused the house to shake. But none of the other dogs have any reaction. What gives? Most dog-based paranormal videos are documentaries like this one, where the dog locks onto a certain part of the room, like they're watching someone.
Based on DNA and eyewitness testimony, Keith Hobson was arrested and charged. Just as concerning, credible eyewitness testimony and gas station security camera footage took him 60 miles away at the time. February the 11th, 23 days before the murders in Dayton, Louis Christie, 7 years old, was found butchered in a box. Based on DNA and eyewitness testimony, Maria Canellis was arrested and convicted, despite contradicting eyewitness testimony and video footage that put her in New Jersey at the time of the killings. A human being cannot be in two realities at the same time. 30 days before Nathan was arrested for the murder of Frank Pearson, he was in Ohio. He arrived with Keith Hobson in the hallway outside of his father's hospital.
The mystery remains, can dogs really sense the dead? You probably know terrifying abandoned villages as famous game levels like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but for adventurer Alaa Al-Hamari, he doesn't need to pick up a controller to get his fill of rickety houses and things that go bump in the night. All he needs to do is take a left turn and he's right there. After hearing some local gossip that the village nearby was home to a load of jinns, he geared up and headed out. When he arrived, he spent some time trying to call out for something to give him a sign, and boy, did it do just that.
Bismillah. La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! Really? Allah. Bismillah!
You could say it's all a result of the wind, but if it were strong enough to pick up and move a load of hefty wooden structures, you'd be able to hear it whistling at the very least. And how come it was only targeting specific bushes? After cursing himself for not bringing any spare pants, he turned back around to face the building, only for things to have gotten 10 times worse.
أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء.
Did you spot the weird shadow figure peeking out from the doorway? It pops its head out a few times. The only thing we can see is the silhouette and a strange white light. Could it be that thing's eye?
مو طبيعي يا جماعة. مو طبيعي المكان هذا. لا إله إلا الله. يا ويلي. لا إله إلا الله. يا ويلي. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. أوف. إذا في أحد المكان يطلع.
Seemingly, the rest of the spirits in the village joined in on the protest against him investigating, and the weird figure has somehow moved itself into the building behind Allah. This wasn't enough to kick him into motion, and he headed to a dilapidated tunnel nearby the buildings, which obviously harboured some more sinister shenanigans.
ما راح انسحب انا ما جيت عشان انسحب هذا اللي فوق انا ما جيت عشان انسحب حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل اخواني انا اعتذر منكم نعتذر منكم
The activity in the video could be viewed as a bit sus. The figures all look and act exactly the same. It seems almost scripted, but then how does that explain all of the windows banging and the objects flying around? I guess we'll never know.
The blood-curdling clip you're about to see was filmed and sent to us by Adam, who comes right from his YouTube channel aptly named I'm Just Adam. He'd had one spooky evening exploring an abandoned bunker used during the Cold War, known as the Kelvedon Hatch secret nuclear bunker in Brentwood, Essex. It was decommissioned in 1992, but has since been reopened as a tourist attraction come paranormal hotspot. It's that area that has even been used on television in shows like The Murder Game and even an episode of New Tricks. With such a rich backdrop to sink your teeth into, Adam and his friends were certain there must be at least some kind of ghostly happening somewhere inside. After tiptoeing around the tunnels and rooms, they found themselves in the old male dormitory and wasted no time getting comfortable.
It does definitely feel colder. I also had a theory like that when we asked...
Hang on. Oh, that's definitely another group. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. If that had been banging without words, I'd have been like weird, but they were doing some kind of haka upstairs, so
Rhythmic chanting.
correct.
But after 5 minutes in there, something happened that froze everybody solid.
But no,
Was that you?
Was what? Who?
I haven't touched that blanket.
That blanket just moved.
but no,
Was that you?
but no,
Was that you?
Something touched that pink blanket. In the message to us, Adam mentioned that at an angle we can see some kind of shadow move in the shadow of the bed and knock the blanket, but he swears up and down that nobody was there. He says, "I can say with all honesty, no one touched the blanket. We were all stood away from it and no one was on the beds. Strange." In the first angle, it looks like you can see something move the blanket, but there was absolutely no one close enough to touch it. He also mentions that the woman in the video, his friend Charlotte, was fine with the investigation all the way up until the blanket moved, and then she wanted to get out immediately. She could have just been generally spooked, but could she have sensed something more sinister inside there? Adam and the team managed to get another angle of the blanket moving, which just left them scratching their heads even harder.
but no,
Was that you?
Was what? Who?
I haven't touched that blanket.
That blanket just moved.
but no,
There may have been a breeze, but the bunker's decommissioned, so the vent above the cameraman doesn't work, presumably. And they're in an underground bunker. There's hardly going to be much wind, perhaps uneven flooring and uneven weight, but surely then the blanket would have slipped onto the floor and not just flapped around like it had been flicked. If you want to make your own conclusions though, we urge you to go and watch the whole video over on I'm Just Adam's channel. Huge shout out again to Adam and his team for recording this and sending it in.
On October 19th, 2022, a team of paranormal investigators gained overnight access to one of England's oldest and most infamous locations, Oxford Castle and Prison. Built in 1071, it's a 1,000-year-old fortress packed with stories of screams, shadows, and spirits that were never granted parole. But on investigation night, nothing. No whispers, no knocks, no shadows. They packed up thinking the place had gone cold. That is, until they reviewed the footage. Take a look.
Recently I carried out a paranormal investigation at Oxford Castle. We were let in overnight and the only people there. This was live footage which I didn't notice at the time, but if you look closely, there appears to be a face at the window. As I rounded the corner and walked down one of the dark halls, I saw a figure leaning against the wall. Again, it wasn't there while I was doing the live feed.
Do you see that? A pale, ghostly face pressed up against the window as if something was watching them from the other side. What's even scarier is that none of them noticed it at the time. It was just a silent presence of someone watching them from the shadows. Could it be the wandering spirit of one of the past inhabitants? Or are they trying to pull the wool over our eyes? Let us know down below. The YouTube channel Serea tu Guia en Heretica took their ghost hunting to an old house with a chilling history, one that has reportedly left the family living there terrified. According to reports, the house is a 100-year-old ranch that was passed down after the family's parents passed away, but after moving in, they lost one of their brothers, who lived with them, and not long after, an even greater heartbreak followed. Their 4-year-old daughter also passed away. With so much grief tied to the home, the family still has experienced bizarre, unexplainable events that made them fear the worst. So, the investigative team decided to check things out for themselves.
Y esto se van a dar cuenta que por dentro está súper antiguo,
Está súper antigua la casa porque como se gozó, o sea, la casa tiene más de 100 años, es una casa heredada, obviamente los padres perdieron la vida, fallecieron y pues se quedaron sus hermanos, de ahí su hermano pues desgraciadamente también falleció y después de eso...
¿Escuchaste?
Sí. Otra vez.
Creo que fue para acá.
Buenas noches. ¿Escuchaste un caballo?
Como un rechinillo, ¿no?
Como un rechinido de caballo. Cabe recordar que estamos en un rancho, ¿no? Sé que puede ser normal, pero se escuchó aquí cerquita de la casa, que ya no se me hace a mí tan normal. Buenas noches. Si hay aquí con nosotros en este lugar alguna entidad la cual se encuentra atrapada en esta casa, queremos que en esta noche se manifieste.
Mira.
Es el bote del agua. Si estás aquí, en este lugar, te estamos pidiendo que en esta noche hagas alguna manifestación.
¡Ah, su madre! ¡Ay! ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso?
¿Te dices cuenta?
¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso?
¿Eres el hermano del dueño de esta casa? ¿Eres tú el que está aquí en este lugar?
Para recalcar que estamos en un rancho, amigos, la cocina está totalmente afuera.
It didn't take long for someone or something to make its presence known, and judging by the way objects started flying, this entity wasn't exactly camera shy. If the family has been living with things being hurled around their home, who could blame them for wanting to leave? But that wasn't the only eerie moment of the night, because just as the team prepared to dig deeper into the house, this happened.
Y pues obviamente la otra es cocina con gas, pero aún sigue utilizando y debido a tantas manifestaciones...
Un grito. Fue un grito.
Buenas noches. ¿Escuchaste? Como un quejido.
Sí, se están quejando, pero no veo dónde.
¿Por qué te quejas? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Está aquí algún pequeño con nosotros? ¿Está aquí algún pequeño acompañándonos? Si eres algún pequeño que esté aquí, puedes jugar, puedes acercarte. Puedes venir, no te vamos a hacer ningún daño, acércate.
¿Escuchas? Hola. Mira, mira, mira.
Mira, sigue.
Enfrente de mí, Fue enfrente de mí.
O sea, te das cuenta todas las manifestaciones que hay para que no sigamos en la casa.
Ajá.
Es lo que más quiero.
¿Y tú no entramos,
Y
araña?
todavía no hemos pasado.
A chair toppled over right in front of the camera with no one in sight. A gust of wind, strings, maybe. But what they captured next, that made us question everything.
Tiene aproximadamente como unos 4 años, creo que escuché, ¿no? Que falleció el hermano y es al mismo tiempo que ellos llevan totalmente su relación dañada, que ellos llevan que no tienen vida. ¿Hola?
Sale. Mira, mira.
Está moviendo y déjame caer.
Mira.
¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Estás jugando?
No mames, se movió. Se movió el volante. Se movió el volante enfrente de nosotros.
Sí, como si tuviera ahí un niño sentado jugando.
¿Hola?
Ahí sentado jugando como si
No hay nada, Saray.
No hay nada.
Y tú dijiste que la niña jugaba con niños, ¿no?
Sí.
Y no hay nada.
La niña pues obviamente juega con más pequeños, mira. ¿Te diste cuenta? Se movió absolutamente todo.
Uy, no, Saray, vámonos mejor, Saray.
The bicycle moved on its own, and this time they made sure to zoom in, proving there were no strings, no tricks, no easy explanation. So, could the rumours be true? Is this house haunted by the spirits of the family's lost loved ones? Or is something far more sinister at play? We'll let you be the judge.
Mira.
Haunted apartments sound like foolproof recipes for a terrifying time, which is why most of us try to stay as far away from them. Except for this guy over on Blogger Sky Bypass, who, for some reason, needed to get his fill of creepy confined spaces. He stumbled upon the strange apartment in the centre of St. Petersburg after asking his circles for any leads on spooky activity, and one of his friends came through. He learned that the apartment he would be spending his time investigating was communal between two families, and his friend's grandmother had lived there before. When she suddenly died one day, a load of children supposedly visited the place, with nobody really knowing who they were or what they wanted. So, armed with all that knowledge, he suited up with all his recording equipment and headed inside, and ended up wishing he had never sniffed around.
Это сейчас ты был? Что это за голос? Ты можешь что-нибудь показать, продемонстрировать себя? Сделай еще что-нибудь.
Alongside slamming doors, he also heard the strange sounds of petering feet and whispering voices. That's the undeniable sound of children running away and giggling. Could they be the spirits of all the children who visited the flat all those years ago? What happened to them inside there? We know there's nobody else there but him, the place someone hidden could clear their throat and you would hear them. So who or what could be lurking inside the apartment? It's not unusual to see things like balls rolling downhill, tyres going rogue after a push, or even bikes seemingly taking themselves on a joyride during a windy day. But what was captured at stupid o'clock on a CCTV camera in Saarbrücken, Germany, is something the laws of physics would struggle to explain. At first glance, it looks simple enough. A bicycle, just cruising down the street. But here's what makes it bizarre. No rider, no visible push, no steep hill. Just a lone bike waltzing through the empty streets like it's out for a midnight joyride. And this didn't happen in broad daylight, where kids might be playing or someone could have given it a shove. Nope. This happens at a time of night where only ghosts, raccoons and poor life decisions are awake. Now, sure, maybe something kicked it off, but the speed and stability with which it moves gives a very weird vibe, because physics says a bike needs a rider or a lot more momentum to keep upright at that speed, and yet here it is, gliding like someone or something is silently pedaling through the night. Coincidence? Or an invisible cyclist from the other side? We'll let you be the judge. You should probably triple check what you buy from your local antique shop before taking it home, because if you're as lucky as this dad, you might have just treated your daughter to a toy from the underworld.
Kawan-kawan, sekian terima kasih hanya sebuah hiburannya kawan. Dimanapun anda berada, sehat selalu, semoga sukses amin ya Allah ya Rabbal alamin.
Nah, surely there must be some sort of mechanism inside the doll for it to be walking, right? Well, that's what we thought until we came across this next video.
Jangan sebuah sensorik kurikulum kita, guys. Kanyang packaging, kaum laos.
Absolutely no room for any wiring or even buttons to be seen. He claims the doll is truly haunted, making strange noises at night when everyone's in bed, and ever since he bought it, his daughter has been acting strange too. So, what's going on here? Can you figure it out? Paranormal or something else? Let us know your thoughts.
Urban exploration is a pretty huge thing now. Everybody wants to get their hiking boots on and break into some old rusty doorways. But contrary to popular depiction, this niche doesn't always go hand in hand with paranormal footage. A lot of explorers are simply going in to see what pieces of history they can feast their eyes on. At least that is what this guy was doing when he walked into an abandoned laundromat inside a hospital. But his historic tour was made 10 times more terrifying when he watched the footage back once he got home and realised he might not have been the only one there.
Lo último. Ah, esto es una especie de baños. Mira, acá hay la cámara séptica esta, ¿no?
Esa es la cámara séptica, sí, recuerdo. Ten cuidado no caerte ahí.
No.
Porque seguramente esa tiene que tener trozo.
Sí.
Did you see that? For a split second on the left-hand doorway, you can just about see the hands and head of a dark figure slipping back behind the wall. Obviously it wasn't immediately spotted, so the guy had no idea who or what he was sharing that space with. The weirdest thing about it is that the scary moment is not advertised at all in the description and barely any commenters seem to pick up on it. If you were going to fake a creepy video in an abandoned building, surely you wouldn't just throw in the scary moment as a blink or you'll miss it Easter egg, right? What do you think happened here?
Ah, esto es una especie de baños.
This video comes from one of you guys. Shout out to Richard Clark for sending this one in. According to his email, his mate, a postmaster in High Wycombe, was just about to close up shop for the night when things took a seriously spooky turn. Out of nowhere, the temperature dropped. Not just a little, but like someone had swung open a walk-in freezer. But that was just the beginning. It wasn't until later, when he reviewed the security footage, that he realised something seriously out of the ordinary had gone down that night. Let's watch. Yep, someone or something zipped past the camera so fast it actually triggered the night vision to shut off. Now, our postmaster isn't exactly the everything is paranormal kind. He's more of the there's a logical explanation kind of guy. But when he replayed the footage, he was left scratching his head, trying to make sense of what he'd just seen. And then it got even creepier. The top left screen showed him closing up shop as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary. But at the same time, on the bottom screen, some strange interference appeared out of nowhere. And right at the end, a shadowy figure zipped past the camera. Somewhere along the way, he remembered that the post office had a bit of a dark past. Turns out years ago, before the building became a post office, an old man decided to take his last breath right there. It couldn't be his ghost still lingering, right? Well, the circumstances say otherwise. For one, the camera that caught this thing is mounted 15 feet up on the wall, so unless we're dealing with a parkour-loving ghost or a bug on a mission from the underworld, that rules out a lot of usual suspects. And here's the kicker. Richard played the footage in super slow-mo on his Xbox, and when he did, the shadow clearly had a human shape. So, was it the ghost of the old man still hanging around? Or is there a more logical explanation? Drop your theories in the comments. Oh, and Richard, if you're watching, tell your mate to invest in some sage. Just saying. While just trying to record the current state of a nearby construction area to show her family, this woman ended up recording something absolutely mind-boggling. It was so weird that nothing she has been able to come up with could explain it. Take a look. It's clearly the shape of a human stumbling to their feet whilst underneath a cloth, but as they rise up, the cloth falls to reveal that there was nothing there at all. Now, in this day and age, we do need to be very cautious of things like AI generated content, and the way that sheet of material is moving comes across extremely unnatural, almost animated. Do you think this could be a spirit realizing it's showing itself and quickly vanishing? Or is there something more technical about all of this?
It was a picture-perfect day on a quiet Kentucky lake. TikToker Sensei Shuri International was out paddling his kayak, soaking in the peaceful vibes and mirror-like water. But as it turns out, not everything below the surface was as calm as it seemed. While exploring the area, he spotted something that stopped him dead in his tracks. A car submerged at the bottom of the lake. At first he thought it had to be from an accident or something sketchy. He started filming and called the cops, but then his camera caught something that flipped this from odd to absolutely unexplainable.
I don't know if anybody can see this or not, but I just reported it. That's a car in the river. That is an SUV. Look at this. Completely fully submerged. It honestly looks like a Kia Soul. Can you guys see that?
Dad, pay attention. We're swimming to the edge.
Did you hear that? While filming the sunken car, Sensei suddenly froze. Cutting through the stillness of the lake, a child's voice echoed. Dad, pay attention, there's a bridge.
Dad, pay attention. We're swimming to the edge.
His heart pounded as he spun around, scanning the empty expanse of water. But there was no one. He was completely alone. Then, as if to confirm his worst fears, another chilling phrase followed. No, 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 no. It wasn't from anywhere visible. It was as if the voice was rising directly from the water below.
Oh shit, alright, I'm on it. We found a car in the river. Mr. James is going to go on down and investigate it. See what we come up with. Here we go.
When the police arrived, a diver named James suited up and slipped into the murky depths to confirm the car's location. Of course, the car was still there, but it was what their camera captured next that left their face as pale as a ghost.
Here it comes now. A white Kia Soul.
As the Kia Soul was pulled out of the lake, water gushed out like it was crying its secrets. But then, a shadowy figure seemed to be shifting behind the rear window. Replaying the footage only made it clearer. Something or someone had been inside. Although we noticed something a bit weird, in the first video the car seemed to be red, and now it's like white or silver. Strange, but he uploaded a picture of the car out on the same day as he uploaded the first video, so it must be something to do with the dirty water and camera angle. What's going on here? A lingering spirit from a tragic accident? Or is there something darker hiding in the story of this sunken car? Drop your theories in the comments.
After a wild night of raving, these friends were just trying to make it home in one piece. But as they got closer to their calling beds, they spotted something bizarre. Not quite sure what they were looking at in the dead of night, one friend pulled out their phone to record it. Some believe that what they caught that night might prove the existence of mythical creatures. Take a look at what they caught.
What the hell? Hey. What is that? This is moving. What am I looking at? Hey.
Although they were only able to capture it for a couple of seconds, the mysterious figure looked like the Grim Reaper itself, caught mid-shift, maybe showing up a little too early for soul collection duty. But since none of the group were reported dead, some believe that they caught a real-life Dementor from the Harry Potter movies, making a pit stop before heading back to Azkaban. On the other hand, skeptics believe it's nothing more than a nifty bit of video editing. But what do you think? Real paranormal sighting or another spooky clip chasing views? Share your thoughts down below.
Tiptoeing through a haunted cemetery surrounded by darkness, with only the fear of the unknown keeping you company, sounds like everyone's worst nightmare. But for the guys over at Darkgate Aria, that was just another night on the job. This time, they dove headfirst into the infamous White Elf Cemetery in Kustan province, a place so cursed even the locals won't step foot there after dark. They thought they were completely alone. Yeah, they thought. Because it wasn't until they analysed their footage later that they realised they weren't.
محمد به خدا یه چیزی دیدم، به خدا یه چیزی سرک کشید محمد پشت.
If they had any clue what their cameras were catching in the background, they probably would have called it a night, right then and there. But nope, they kept going. And when one of them got way too close to the cliff's edge, the ghost, or whatever else was lurking, decided to send a wake-up call. Watch this.
محمد بغلت محمد به خدا بغلت بود.
As they carried on, the guy holding the camera noticed something strange. A bizarre light anomaly flickering wildly right near his friend, the one standing dangerously close to the cliff's edge. Almost like something was circling him, waiting, ready to push. Luckily, he called him back before anything could happen, but that was their final warning. Instead of getting out while they still could, they set their sights on the old building inside the cemetery. And the moment they stepped right through those doors, it became painfully clear something was waiting for them inside. Because inside, there was no doubt some kind of poltergeist was ready to make its presence known. Whatever entity lurks inside that building, it didn't just want them to see it, it wanted them to feel it. Because some ghosts whisper,
No.
Some scream, and some just stand there, watching, waiting, until it's your turn. So, was this a warning, or were they already in its grasp the moment they stepped inside? Let us know what you think in the comments. Britt loves nothing more than her family and her horses. Life on the ranch is nothing but pure bliss. Oh, aside from the creepy ass cemetery in her front garden. As she spent more time there on her own, she realised that a lot of the animals seemed to be drawn to those gravestones. According to Britt, the same 4 cows would come, form a kind of circle around the cemetery, and just freeze, staying there for hours at a time, just staring into space. It isn't just the random cows either. Her dog Josie is also extremely sus about that cemetery. After she posted those videos of the animals losing it over the crosses, people began questioning her, wondering why the hell she has all those graves in the front garden. Looking through some comment sections, we were able to find this comment she left, confirming that she knew who was buried there, her grandparents and their cats. She gradually started feeling more and more unsettled though, because she started having more strange experiences. She would swear she saw figures inside the house, sensing some kind of presence that didn't feel at all friendly, which is why She was so freaked out when this happened, and she was able to catch it on her security camera. While collecting her takeaway order, something lashed out at her, and it wasn't the delivery driver. That doesn't seem like friendly grandparent ghost behaviour. She walks the driver back to his car. He was clearly a bit freaked out by those frozen cows, and she heads back in, only to realise something had set her burglar alarm off, and then something yanked on her t-shirt sleeve. You can see clearly in the video the grip on the fabric. It folds as if her hand were holding it super tightly. A few commenters seemed a bit suspicious that she just stood and waited in the doorway for a few seconds before she walked any further into the house. She could have been waiting for someone to get their cue so they could pull off this stunt. But how would they even manage that? Her reaction looked genuine as well. So what could be going on here? Do you have any ideas? Let us know any theories down in the comments. When exploring a new camping spot, it's never a good idea to wander into the dark, trying to channel your inner Enola Holmes, especially when you haven't got the balls to back it up. That is what this group of friends found out when they decided to check out the screams they heard in the woods. Armed with flashlights and shaky courage, they ventured deeper into the unknown, and what they captured sent them running for an extra pair of pants.
Oh my god, Phil, it sounds like someone's being f***ing raped. Dude, you need to help that person, man. It's probably something fucking with you. Phil, that sounds like some scary movie shit.
Fucking middle of
Dude, I have
nowhere.
the biggest fucking revolver ever, dude. I fucking do it. Give me first.
Dude, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, that sounds like some haunted ass shit, dude. What happened to the other steel target?
There's two. Wait, what the fuck
There's one right there on the ground.
What the fuck is that?
It's on the ground.
What the fuck is that? The fuck is what?
That right there. What the f is that?
Dude, that's not normal.
No. Please tell me you guys are fucking with me. Oh! No!
Checking out what they thought was a damsel in distress, they went into the woods until they saw a strange looking doll hanging ominously from a tree, Blair Witch style.
Holy
As they cautiously approached the object, a piercing scream echoed through the forest, sending their nerves into overdrive. Of course, as anyone with half a brain would do, they darted out of there, never to return. But here's the question: was that a scream for help, or somebody ready to hear them scream instead?
No!
Rogaine used to love it when he was able to work from home, but after he was left shaking in fear in his own home, he realised the office might be less terrifying. He had noticed strange noises echoing throughout the house. He didn't think much of it, but it kept happening. So, he whipped out his camera in the hopes of catching some kind of evidence that he wasn't just going crazy, and he managed to catch something bone-chilling.
Hello?
The noises could well be anything, but how did the cupboard door open? He swears he is the only one in the house, so it wouldn't have been anyone hiding and pulling a string. After he caught that footage, he packed up a bag and went to stay with his family. Probably a smart choice. But eventually, he had to go back and do a bit of housekeeping. He was already hesitant while entering his home, so he got a camera rolling and propped it up to catch anything whilst he was washing some dishes. And he ended up catching something even more terrifying. According to the video description, he didn't notice the cabinet opening on its own until he watched the footage back. It does seem a bit odd that the cookies only fell when his head obstructed the only corner they could have been pulled from. But how would you tie a string around a bag of cookies without it being super obvious? Rogaine said that he was selling the house. Can't say we blame him. After a while of posting videos like these ones, he noticed a few commenters suggesting he were faking all of his videos. Specifically, ones with some drawers opening, with strings and wires that he had left evidence of that behind, to which he responded with this.
Hey guys, another sleepless night here, but I wanted to make this video real quick to address some things people are saying about my videos. In particular, that there's a cord wrapped around the drawer, saying that my videos are fake. I'm telling you, the toll it's taken on me is not fake. Here's the drawer, the infamous cord. It's my phone charger. I'll keep it here because you can access it from my bed. Apparently people are saying that it was used to open the drawer from over here, and that it's not visible later in the video when I close the drawer. If you look, it is certainly visible. I don't know. People just think everything they see on the internet is fake. But for those of you that are showing me love, thank you. And I'll continue to keep posting updates as they happen. Thank you.
While this all could be some good acting, he does seem genuinely distraught by the activity happening at home. In the description, he mentions that he had to seek therapy because of the activity plaguing his life. He is also right, the phone charger couldn't have been used to open the drawer from further away. So what's going on here? Could it be some kind of super convincing haunted house story? Or is Rogaine actually sharing his home with a slap-happy poltergeist?
The man who once lived inside the home that this footage came from sadly took his last breath a few days before it was filmed. He was an avid biker, taking great care of his motorcycles. His family by then had not had the heart nor the time to do anything with the vehicles, and they realised that they might not be able to at all when they saw this footage on the security camera that he'd once put up to protect his property. The guy's family heard the commotion and went to check the cameras, only to be confronted with what they believed to be his spirit coming back to try and take his bike for one last ride. While sometimes bikes can malfunction and start by themselves, how are the handles moving as though someone were turning them round? Do you think that this is the spirit of a biker trying to get his knee to the ground one final time? Or could there be a more electrical explanation for this clip?
A pair of feet descending from the ceiling. Look carefully. Those feet at the top of the stairs. Where do they come from? And then we see it. What is that? A Wendigo? A skinwalker? A golem? A real An object gets thrown at you.